Howdy, welcome back to more Space Engineers, and today we're going to use that thing behind me to help us build a system to sort out all the ores and ingots and stop them from coming from the refinery and filling up the assemblers so we can't produce anything. So, let's get to it. Alright, so we're going to start off, we're going to look in here at our inventory. And I'm going to show you the problem I've been having. We come in and we look at our inventory and we look at the assemblers. All of the cobalt was shoved into the assembler, and all the silicon was shoved into the assembler. So, it can't produce any of the stuff I need made. It's got plenty of cobalt. It doesn't have any space to bring in the resources to build the rest, and the assembler will not empty itself out properly. We're going to fix that by making it sort out all the ingots and get them off in their own storage and stop this from happening again. And we're also going to make it so we don't have to wait for things to produce, because if we come in here and we look at our production, our inventory, our refinery, oh my gosh, it's finally done. Since I built that vertical miner, it has been processing ore, and it just finished. I'm surprised. We're going to look at this list of ores here that we need to handle. We need to handle stone, iron, silicon, nickel, cobalt, gold, silver, magnesium, platinum, and uranium. We don't really need to handle the platinum and uranium though, because those aren't actually spawned on Earth. So, we're not worried about those right now. We are worried about the first 8 though. We're going to come back into here, and the first thing we're going to do, we're going to start building everything back here. Rip this out. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build... get out of the hole. That's what we're going to do first. We're going to build a system that will handle all the ores and ingots for us and get them out of our way. And then we'll work on the refinery portion. So, I'm going to get that built, and then I'll explain it all to you. I need to break in here real quick, and I need to explain this block to you. This is the conveyor sorter block. It's available in both small grid and large grid, and the small grid version comes in both the medium cargo conveyor system and the small cargo conveyor system. This block is not only a sorter, as the name implies, where it will sort out and filter everything, it also is a mover. Let's come in here and we'll take a look real quick. Now you can toggle the block on, off, and then toolbar, HUD, all that good stuff, just like everything else. And then you've got this drain all button. And this drain all means that everything that follows these filters, anything that it would sort, it will just pull everything from there. So, if we come in here and we say blacklist and we have nothing listed and we hit drain all, it will try to drain everything through it. If you come in and you say blacklist ammo and add ammo on there, it will try to drain everything except ammo. Alternatively, if we change it to whitelist and we have nothing there, it will try to drain nothing. Because the only thing that passes the filter is nothing. But if we add ammo on there, then it will try to drain only ammo, and it will drain all of the ammo out of your base. So this block is actually really good for logistics and for sorting, and just generally, if you like to use logistics in your bases, you're going to love this block. Anyways, let's get back to it. Alright, I'm going to show you what I've got out there, and it's actually really simple. But remember, we have 8 ores that we have to sort through and work with. So, we're going to start with this one here. This one, you can see gold over there. This one is for stone. We've got an inlet. We've got 2 cargo containers to hold all of the stone and its byproduct. And we've got an outlet to let it go back into the system when it's needed. So we're going to take this sorter here, the one that goes in, and I've already turned all of them off, and we've named this one Stone Inlet. We're going to set it to whitelist, and we are going to grab stone. soon as we find it, stone and gravel. The two byproducts of stone that we want to sort into this system. Gravel. Add. So now all the stone and gravel will get sent into these two cargo containers and stored there. This one, we are just going to leave it on blacklist and call it good enough. Oh yes, and the inlet side, we're also going to set that to drain all. All the inlets need to be set to drain all. And I've gone ahead and I've set all of them up like that. We have those 4 blocks there, one for each ore. We've got stone over there, iron, nickel, silicon, cobalt, magnesium, silver, and gold. All 4 ores. And the only reason this floor drops down like this is so that we can get access to these control panels. As I said, I've already set everything up. The only thing I still have to set up is I have to rename all of these. So this one would be Iron 1, and that one would be Iron 2, and that would be Stone 1, and that would be Stone 2. Not a big deal, but I want to rename the storage containers for the next step in this. But first, since we've got all these named inlet and outlet, we're actually going to set up a couple of timer blocks. Before we do that, though, there's something I like to do with timer blocks, and really just about any time I want to use a programmable block or anything like a programmable block. I don't like to set them up using large grid. I don't like doing that at all. So, we're actually going to come in here and we are going to grab a hinge. Where's the hinge? There's the hinge. And we're going to add a hinge and a hinge part to our build planner. And we're going to grab everything we need. We're going to set the hinge right here. And we're going to have to also grind this out. We're going to need to get rid of it anyways, though, so it's not a big deal. Alright, now we're going to weld this up. We don't want that one. We actually want to come into this, and we want to... Oh, I saw it for a second there. Can I? Oh, I can. I'm not supposed to be able to do this. Makes me very, very happy. So this hinge here, we're going to name this timers. Just because we can. Alright, and we're going to add a small head. And we're going to go ahead and change its velocity. There we go. And we're going to hinge lock it. Now we can weld this up. Alright, now we can add some timer blocks to that, because that is all small grid. So let's go ahead and we're actually going to add some timer blocks. Small grid. We're just going to grab 6 of them. We'll grab 8 of them, because we can. And I forgot to add them to the bar. Alright, so now I can put timer blocks on here. So we're going to put 1, 2, 3. Those timer blocks are what we're going to use. But we're just going to add all of them so that the whole thing is covered. I thought we grabbed enough to make 8. Heck. Alright, now all we can see is that. And I actually should have put that over there. I'm going to take all this down and I'm going to move it. Do I want to put it there? I think I actually want it to be right here, right on top of this conveyor. I'm going to move it. I'm going to put it right here. All right, we've got this moved, and I'm rather happy with where it's moved to. I'm not happy with the change of weather, though. That's annoying. I can't wait to get the rest of this building built, which we'll be doing in a little bit. Now, before I turn all of these on, we need to first group all of the inlets as, we'll say, ore inlets. Sorter ore inlets. Save. And outlets, we're going to do the same thing. Sorter ore outlet. Save. Alright, so now if we get rid of this here, we've got the inlets and the outlets. We're going to turn off drain all for now. Alright, so we've got this all set up for the most part. Now in here we've got 9 timer blocks. This first one, we're going to rename this to be ore 1, ore 2, and ore 3. Alright, so ore 1, we want this to every, I don't know, let's say every minute. Silent. Every minute, we want this to shut off the ore outlets. And we want it to trigger ore 2. Or no, sorry. We want it to trigger drain all on off. That will turn drain all on when it shuts off the outlets. And we want it to trigger the timer block ore 2. Sorry, start, not trigger. Ore 2, we want it to, after say 3 seconds, also run in silent. We want it to go back into groups here. Toggle drain all off. And turn on the outlets. And then trigger ore 3. Sorry, start ore 3. Okay? And then ore 3. Actually, we don't need ore 3. We only need 2 timer blocks. If I can type. So let me look at that again. After every minute, yeah. So ore 2 can actually just trigger the timer block ore 1. Sorry, start timer block ore 1. So now if we come back in here, because I need to actually come in and turn those on, we're going to turn on the sorters. And we are going to start. We're going to get rid of this. Just going to be three again. We're going to trigger or 1. So now we should see all the gravel moved into these containers. All the iron is getting moved over. It doesn't suck a whole lot at a time, but it does pull out a little bit of ore and a little bit of resources every time it runs. So this will make things a little easier for us, because that will eventually drain all this iron, silicon, cobalt, nickel, all of that out of here and out of all the rest of the blocks and into these, which will work out really, really well for managing the ores. But we're not done here. There is something else we need to do. You remember, we set this sorter up to also grab the stone, the ore. What we need to do is we need to recreate this refinery right here 8 times. That's where our welding ship is going to come in really handy, because we're going to come in and we are going to place a refinery on the top of each of these. Right there, right there, right there, and right there. And if you look, each of these is going to line up. If I can get it to sit right, it's lining up with that connection on the bottom here. That connection is right on top of that cargo container. Now we're going to add in yield modules, because we don't care how fast this is. Not in the least. So we're going to put 4 yield modules on the back of each one. Alright, so now let's go ahead and start actually building these. Oh, I've missed one. Oop, there we go. That's all of them. Now, we're going to get our welding ship out, and we are going to weld all these up, because that 1,000 steel plates per unit is going to be a lot of steel plates to move. I'm not going to do it manually. So, we're going to start moving things using the welder. Go ahead and come in here. Actually, first, we're going to do this. We're going to say refinery. We're going to add 8 of those to the bar. Put all of that into production. Now this, you can see we're just looking at this ship. Oh, you see that? It took some of the iron just then. Alright. Gonna empty that out. Now we're just gonna do this, and it needs a whole bunch of steel plates still. But inventory is full. Let's hope it can fly. It cannot. Ooh, just barely can. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go hit one of those refineries, and we're going to dump off 1,000 steel plates just to get them out. Actually, can we fit through here? I think we can. Maybe not. awfully tight. Ooh, that was rough. Alright, so that is welding up that refinery right there. It's taking its sweet time. Weld up this refinery too. We don't have any more resources, do we? We just have a few steel plates. Definitely quicker than if we were doing it by hand, but it's still going to take a while. So we'll be right back. All right. Almost done. There we go. The whole thing is welded up, ready to go. Took a while because I had to wait for things to process. I wound up needing a lot more steel plates than I expected to. And I mean a lot. And, yeah, it took a little longer than I expected. But we're done. Well, we're done with that. All right. We're all finished. Now, let's come take a look. If we come back here and we take a look in here, we'll see that we look in the iron. We have all the iron right here. Search for iron. We'll find no other iron in the system. And that's the same for all of them. Now, while I'm waiting for daylight to finish the rest of this, I'm going to rename all of these cargo containers to show what ore they're for. We'll be right back when I'm done with that, and we have daylight. Alright, we have daylight just peeking over the ridge there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this into an actual part of the base. We are going to finish the base expansion in this episode. So, let's get started on that. For starters, I want this to be one wider so that when we have a wall in here, we'll be able to walk around the entire thing. Alright, let's come over here. We're going to look at this. We are going to continue the same pattern all the way around. Right, so I think got that pretty much ready to be built. Now we're just going to have to load this up with steel plates and go weld. We have 913 steel plates. That is not enough. Go to production. Oh, we're not going to have enough. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to have enough steel plates, so we're not going to be able to weld that up today. Alright, so what I've done here is I've gone all the way around this, following the same shape we were using here. I do need to go in, though, and make some changes, because you can see we did 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a pillar. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, this one should be all solid blocks. So let's do that real quick. Okay, I think that's good. I think we've got it. No, one more. Let's just go ahead and change this one out. Alright, we've got this mostly done, but we do need to finish that up with some welding. Now you can see we've got the same contour on the outside as we've had everywhere else. So I think it will tie in nicely. Won't know for sure until I get it done. I did kind of want this to look like it was an extension, like an expansion of the factory. So I'm actually rather happy with the fact that it looks a little different. When we come back, that will be all welded up. Until then, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Come back next time, we'll finish welding that up. And we'll also put in a system to let us know when we're running out of materials, kind of like we just ran out of iron. So, come back next time. We'll do all that and probably a little bit more. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a great rest of your day. See ya.